Good evening. In our news bulletin for tonight, the New Zealand Governor-General made her first visit to Niue and conducted the investiture of Premier Talangi as a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Government has signed an agreement with Air New Zealand to have 2 weekly flights all year round. The sudden passing of a Catholic nun this week has left the community stunned. Ekalesia Niue congregations gathered for the annual Aho Me program. Niue welcomed the New Zealand Governor-General, who arrived for her first official visit to Niue on Monday. The Governor-General is a symbol of national unity and leadership, with duties to carry out constitutional, ceremonial, international and community roles. Dame Patsy Reddy is the 21st Governor-General of New Zealand and the 3rd woman to hold this post as the Queen's representative in New Zealand. Her Excellency Dame Reddy and her entourage were greeted by Premier Talangi and his cabinet before they witnessed a challenge from local warriors performing a traditional takalo. The new police force were also on guard as she was escorted to inspect the Guard of Honour. Senior government officials, members of the Legislative Assembly and invited guests were present for a short welcoming ceremony at the airport, where the Premier and the Governor-General reiterated the importance of the special relationship between Niue and New Zealand. Not long after arrival, the New Zealand delegation were able to go to an exhibition that had been set up at the Niue Tourism Office, where Niue primary school students were also available to entertain them as they viewed the different artworks from local artists. In addition to the courtesy visit to the realm countries, the Governor-General was able to confer and perform the official investiture of Premier Talangi as a Knight of the Realm of New Zealand. Hundreds of people gathered at Lalosiale to witness this investiture on Tuesday morning. The formalities started with the arrival of Premier Talangi and the Governor-General Dame Patsy Reddy and their spouses, before the national anthems and flags were hoisted. Her Excellency Dame Patsy Reddy and staff from Government House in New Zealand presided over the formal investiture, where Premier Talangi received a medallion with his title, and there was an opportunity for families and friends to take photographs to mark this special and auspicious occasion. We spoke to Premier Talangi briefly after the investiture to gauge how he was feeling.
I don't feel any different. The fact is, this is a recognition, but it's not necessarily the thing that will drive me. I've already been driven by my own ambitions for the country, and therefore I think this is an accolade that I'm very happy with and I'm pleased with, but got a lot of work to do. Key thing that I always look at is our people. If we don't look after our people, then I don't think any of those things that I've said previously are going to matter very much. So we've got to look after our people, and I'm talking about kids to both of us, and public servants as well as people in the private sector. I think at the present moment I'm happy, for example, that in the private sector they have been able to generate more businesses for themselves as a consequence of what we've done with tourism, and that's what's driving the whole economy at the present moment. I'm very happy. I'd just like to thank everybody who helped organise today, and thank my family. You know, they're the people who have been supportive of me through good, through bad, and my wife has done a remarkable job when I was very ill. I value that, and I'm very happy, and I thank them very much for supporting me. And for the people of Niue, who are very happy. Genuinely, yes, very, very happy with that.
Premier Sir Talangi expressed his gratitude during his formal speech, where he also announced his intentions to contest the upcoming elections in May, where he hopes to get another term in office. This visit by the Governor-General was significant, as this was her very first overseas travel since accepting her new role in September last year. It is something that she says is also quite special.
Well, it was very significant for a number of reasons. For me, it was the very first time that I've presided at an investiture outside Government House, indeed outside New Zealand. I think that is very rare, and it's because, of course, Niue is a part of the realm of New Zealand, so we were extremely pleased to be able to come and bestow that great honour on Sir Toke here in his own country rather than in New Zealand.
There was much celebration and fanfare as the formal part of the program concluded. Lunch was served and entertainment from the Niue High School group, Leviatana group and Tukwala. Guests were treated to a feast and the celebrations continued well into the afternoon. However, the day was not over for the Governor-General as she continued with site visits that reflected her particular interest in arts and culture.
I think arts and culture is a real pathway to development, economic development, as well as the development of the people as a whole. So if you think of it as the culture of Niue is the unique spirit, or wairua as we would say in New Zealand, of the country and the people. So demonstrating it, performing it, showing people the culture through drawings, through craft, through the beautiful lei, through the beautiful flowers you're wearing on your head now. All of those things are unique to Niue, and that's what tourists are so driven to come and see, and that's what will make Niue special for people visiting, as well as the developing pride in the younger people as well when they realise they have something special in their own country. I am very interested in trying to value add where I can, and so we've developed a strategic plan to I guess focus us on what things we should and shouldn't do. And I guess part of that strategic plan is playing out in the sorts of visits we have here. We're looking at creativity, so there we are, that's the arts and culture. Innovation, so this afternoon we're going to see a farming visit to see what innovative techniques Niuean farmers are developing. Then we have diversity, so we're very keen to do what I can to support diversity of not only gender but also race and culture in every walk of life, because in New Zealand it's very important that we embrace all of the people who now live there, and of course a lot of people who live in New Zealand weren't born there. Indeed, quite a few of them were born in Niue, it turns out. But we also, and finally leadership. I'm very keen to help support and recognise the importance of leaders, developing leaders in the world. So if I can add to those areas in just a little way, then I will feel that I've left a legacy.
In the afternoon, the Governor-General was taken on a number of field visits to Waipapahi Farm that has seen a major overhaul in the past year to revive and revamp the experimental farm to its former glory. The fruit and nut tree trial was of particular interest, and Dame Patsy also planted a tree to mark her first visit to Niue. There was a short tour of the farm grounds and staff shared their aspirations and vision for this area. Early Wednesday morning, there was a visit to the Halamhanga site where the new museum is to be built. Taonga Niue took the lead with support from the Project Management Coordination Unit. Representatives from the Whangahau Niue Commission were present to welcome the delegation. Taonga Niue Director Moira Enetama and staff were delighted to present Dame Patsy Reedy with a gift that included 3 very important pieces of literature: the Whangahau Niue Monolingual Dictionary, the Bilingual Dictionary, and the Whangahau Niue Thesaurus. Both the Premier and Dame Reedy marked the occasion with the planting of coconut plants, provided with an explanation of the significance upon which Niue's name is derived. The final visit was to the Makini Hall with a short welcome by the Niue Council of Women and some displays from the private sector. Much to the surprise of officials, the ladies presented a short welcome and gifted many crafts and items to the Governor-General to show their appreciation. We asked Her Excellency what the highlights were for her first visit to Niue and what she thought of the island.
I think the warmth of the people. I've met so many lovely people, all the wonderful cultural performances we've had, right from the school children with the ukulele orchestra at the cultural visit yesterday, and those wonderful performances today at the investitures. They've been wonderful. But I've just enjoyed meeting so many Niueans. I think it's a beautiful island. I'm astonished that I haven't been here before, really, and I will come back, I'm sure. Very much enjoyed the trip. It's something that I'll encourage other people in New Zealand to come and do. It's not a long flight, and it's lovely to come to a place that's got so much life, so much enthusiasm, so much vigour. I very much enjoyed it.
The Governor-General and her entourage departed the island yesterday morning, bound for the next destination in the Cook Islands that is also part of the realm of New Zealand. The Niue government has signed an agreement with Air New Zealand that will see the extension of a second weekly flight all year round. Tourism has been the key focus area for economic development over the years, with a significant amount of investment within the industry. With the growth of tourism and the expansion of the scenic Matawai Resort, the Premier, Sir Tokitalangi, believes that the island can cater for the surge in tourist numbers. Currently, the Air New Zealand aircraft flies to Niue once a week, but when the tourist high season from April to October comes around, then the airline extends to 2 flights a week, making it more convenient for travellers. Premier Tokitalangi has stated that they will be factoring in the need for a bigger aircraft being used to increase capacity and numbers of tourists. An agreement for Air Service's second flight to continue through the low season was signed a few weeks ago, and the next challenge will be to look at ways to market the low season and have events that will draw tourists and returning Niueans to the island to make this move more economical. The Niue government underwrites the current Air New Zealand flights and would need to be careful not to overcommit itself to higher subsidies. The second Air New Zealand flight will start next week, Tuesday, the 28th of March, up until October. The sudden passing of a young nun in Alufi North has left the Alufi community and the Catholic congregation stunned. According to sources, a local Tongan resident came across the body late Monday afternoon near Tano's gym and immediately contacted the hospital. Chief of Police Tony Edwards said that they were still investigating, but it has been speculated that she had gone out for a stroll when she had a heart attack, killing her instantly. Sister Lupe Mutuliki arrived in Niue to serve a mission with the St. Joseph Catholic Mission in February. According to Father Anawa Finau, Sister Mutuliki was called to serve for a term of 3 years, working with young children, youth and young married couples of the congregation. Her family have been informed and are expected to arrive this coming Friday, where she will be laid to rest at the mission compound on Saturday. Village congregations from the Iglesia Cristiano Niue gathered at the Millennium Hall for their annual choir singing celebration last Saturday. The Ahome is celebrated every year with groups singing their best gospel songs, and where men dress up in the best aloha shirts and women wearing beautiful hairpieces and dresses. This year, just like previous years, were filled with joy and happiness as the congregations went up one by one on stage to perform. For every congregation that performed, they often put an offering, which is tallied by the Iglesia Cristiano treasurer. And according to Mr. Ukulupa Ikihele, the total offerings for this year were $32,254. This year's offerings have decreased a little in amount, but the vibrant and entertaining spiritual performances were memorable. And that concludes the news bulletin that we have for you this evening. We do hope that you have an enjoyable weekend ahead. And don't forget that next week there will be screenings of the documentary produced by National Geographic of the expedition to Niue and Beveridge Reef last year.